Good morning students and welcome back to Digital Classroom. Today we will begin with topic number 3, Effects of British Rule for Standard 8, Subject History and Civics. As I know students, Ankita teacher has already finished with your third chapter, part 1. But it's a long time, so I'll start once again with a summary of first part of effects of British rule. In this first part, I have covered 3 topics: establishment of East India Company, British and Maratha, the subsidiary alliance, and Chhatrapati Pratap Singh. Now, in first part, we will see establishment of East India Company, British and Marathas. Again, in British and Maratha, it is divided into entry of British, First Anglo-Maratha War, Second Anglo-Maratha War, Third Anglo-Maratha War, and Daulat Rao Shinde. Now, in your textbook, you can see a very small explanation given to you. Let us see some elaborated explanation of British and Marathas. Establishment of East India Company. Although the European powers including Portuguese, Dutch, French and British entered the race for capturing Indian market, initially the Portuguese gave bitter resistance to British, but later they developed a friendly relations among themselves. But on the other hand, the Britishers had to face oppositions from French, Dutch and many local rulers. But slowly and gradually, the Britishers were so cunning that they succeeded in establishing the East India Company, setting back this French and Dutch and many other local rulers. Then there was constant war between Britishers and Marathas. The first part was how did the Britishers they entered India. Marathas had a strong hold on the areas in and around Mumbai, which was prime center of British in Western India. But Britishers tried to acquire nearby territories, but Marathas had a strong check on their expansion. It was only after the death of Peshwa Madhavrao that they got entry in Maratha politics, because Raghunath Rao had agreed for the seat of Peshwaship sought help of the Britishers. And this is how the Britishers they entered the court of Marathas after the death of Peshwa Madhavrao. What do we mean by First Anglo-Maratha War? 3 wars were fought between Marathas and the Britishers during 1774 to 1818. At first, the Marathas they fought unitedly with the Britishers, and so these Britishers were defeated in First Anglo-Maratha War. And the Treaty of Salbai was signed by the Britishers in 1782. The Second Anglo-Maratha War was held in 1802 as Bajirao II entered into the subsidiary alliance with the British and had a treaty of Bassein, that is Vasai. But the Second Anglo-Maratha War took place as some of the Maratha Sardars opposed this treaty. They did not like this treaty. But the Marathas were defeated by the Britishers in this second war. Slowly and gradually, due to the defeat of second between Anglo and Marathas, that is British and Marathas, the Britishers they started interfering in the rules and regulations and the current affairs or the affairs of the Marathas. Looking at this, Bajirao too did not like the interference, and so he had declared a war against the Britishers. But in 1880 he surrendered as he was defeated in this war. So how does with the Britishers took place? Because the Britishers they wanted the expansion of East India Company in India, but at that time it was so unfortunate that the death of Peshwa Madhav Rao and the rule of Rao gave the free pass to Britishers to enter the court of Marathas, and from there the declination of the Maratha empire started, because the Marathas at first war they won because they were united, and slowly and gradually there were many internal fights among themselves, and so in the next second war as well as in third war they could not fight against the Britishers. Similarly, the capital of Mughals was under the control of Daulat Rao Shinde, but as the Britishers were day by day becoming stronger in India, General Lake did and captured Daulat Rao Shinde. The subsidiary alliance. What is this subsidiary alliance? In 1798, Governor General Lord Wellesley, with a view to bring the whole of India under the British rule, introduced the subsidiary alliance. He entered into the treaties with many Indian rulers, whereby assuring the military assistance to them. The condition of subsidiary alliance. What was the condition? Indian rulers should keep the British army in their court territory. This was the rules given by the Lord Wellesley. They were to pay the company towards the maintenance of these forces in cash or cede a part of their territory, giving equivalent amount of revenue. The rulers would not have alliance or go to war with other powers without the mediations of the British. The rulers should accept a British resident in their state. So these were all the conditions for subsidiary alliance. Alliance means what? A help was given. It was just in the name of help given to the Marathas. So, if they wanted the Marathas, if they wanted the help of the Britishers or the British army, they need to follow all these four rules. Those Indian rulers who accepted this condition lost their freedom. Now, not to give a extra explanation for this, from the rules only we can understand, students, that the Indian rulers were forced that the Britishers army should be in their court. Along with this, they were forced, they were not given any of the concession in anything, because the maintenance of this army was given in the form of cash, or a part of their territory was given as a revenue to the Britishers. Similarly, without the permission of the Britishers, they could not fight with any of the other ruler, or they could not have an alliance with any of the other ruler of Maratha unless and until a permission was given by the Britishers. Chhatrapati Pratap Singh. Even though Peshwaship came to an end, Chhatrapati Pratap Singh ruled from Satara. British rulers appointed Grand Duff to assist him in the state affairs. He was dethroned and exiled to Kashi, where he died in 1847. His loyal officers Rango Bapuji Gupte fought legal battle and went up to England but was unsuccessful. Lord Dalhousie rejected the adoption policy and in 1848 annexed the state of Satara. Work done by Chhatrapati Pratap Singh. Water tanks were built on the backside of Yatveshwar temple and Mahadara, which supplied water to Satara city. He built roads and planted trees on both the sides. Sanskrit, Marathi and English was taught to girls and boys in school. Printing press was set up and many books were published. A book titled Sabhaniti was printed on polity in 1827. A road connecting to Satara to Mahabaleshwar to Pratapgarh was built by him, which was further extended to Mahad. So these are some of the important points of the first part which Ankita teacher has discussed with you. In this chapter, we will be going to study the effects of British rule over India. At present, in this chapter, first part, we have covered establishment of East India Company, the British and the Marathas. Under this roof, we have seen the entry of Britishers, then first, second and third war between Britishers and Marathas. Then we saw the subsidiary alliance was a fake policy introduced by the Britishers, where they had laid certain rules and regulations over the Marathas, and their drawbacks we have learned in this lesson. Similarly, we have learned about Chhatrapati Pratap Singh and his work, which had brought fame to the Maratha kingdom. Now, in the next part, we will be learning effects of British rule on India, that is dual government, act passed by Parliament, the civil services, the military and police force, judicial system, equality before law, economic policies of the British, land revenue policies, consequences of new land revenue system, commercialization of agriculture, famine, development in transport and communication system, decline of traditional industries in India, development of new industries in India, social and cultural effects, and so on in detail in next part. Students, I hope you all are reading the lesson. So, on Wednesday we will be finishing the next part of this lesson. Till that time, you are supposed to read the lesson thoroughly, understand it, the part which we have finished with, and then we will continue with the second part on Wednesday. Thank you. Bye.